Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So today I've been pretty busy. Yesterday was pretty busy. I feel like that's kind of how I start every video though, is that I've been busy. But that's kind of the life of a homesteader, especially when you just bought a fixer-upper and winter's coming quite quickly. But it is what it is. So yesterday I managed to get these steps all put in to the back porch here, which was a little bit more complicated than I had thought. I had never used the first off, I've never made steps before. So we did buy the already assembled stringers that like already had the cut out pieces for the steps to go on. It was relatively cheap actually at Menards to just buy that instead of just buying like a 2x12 and then having to struggle my way through to, cut the things. And yeah, we hit the easy button. And the easy button for once wasn't that expensive. So we went ahead and we did that. So we also bought some of the little bracket things to like help hold the stringers onto the steps. So that was kind of a challenge for me to figure out how those went on, but I got them on. The steps are on. They're not 100% perfect. As you can see, there's a little bit of a lip right over in there. There's not anything wrong. The steps are actually like level and that sort of a thing. They're within the scope of being level because I was meticulously leveling, making sure that everything was level. The ground is terribly uneven here, and when I had put the stringer metal bracket thingy-majig on, I ended up going slightly too low. So it was just a miscalculation in measuring. So it doesn't negatively impact the steps at all. It's just going to drive my OCD absolutely crazy. So in the future, I probably will take the time to unscrew that little bit and then put it back up a little bit higher. But I really just need to get these steps done because, well, it was really difficult to keep making this big leap all the way up to there. But so today I did put some railing up on both sides. So that was pretty nice to have that accomplished. And as you'll see behind me, I have a whole bunch of wood scraps that I need to take care of. Part of them wood scraps is actually from when the roofer guy, our contractor dude, he cut out the window area for that door. I asked him to save the wood so that way I could use it on future projects because our house is like 100 years old. So the wood is like really super old too. The addition, not as old as the rest of the house, but it's still at least older than I am. So I thought it'd be nice to be able to have some scraps and pieces of wood to eventually pay homage to the home and stuff and repurpose whatever I can. I'm really big into reusing and repurposing and recycling things and upcycling things as we go about our renovations and that sort of a thing. It's kind of like my MO is I really like reclaimed materials. So that's a big reason too as to why I did that. But the other thing I got done today was I finished fixing all of these steps right in here. So a few videos back, probably about a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks, our daughter, she came over for dinner and she actually fell through one of the steps right over here because they were not the appropriate pieces of wood. So people that did a lot of work and upkeep to this house from like the early 90s until like, I don't know, 2020-ish or so, a little bit before then, they were not very skilled with tools or building or fixing things or anything of the sort. So I uncovered quite a bit of stuff whenever I was messing with that deck that I will in the springtime when I finish fixing all of them steps that I will have to address then. But for today, I just kind of shored things up enough that they're safe, they're structurally sound for now, but in the future they are things that I will want to fix. And then the other thing that I've been working on today is I've also been getting the rabbits ready for winter time. I was gonna, take you guys on a leisurely stroll, but the geese didn't like that idea. So what I did today was the turkeys, because they free range, they get up on top of the rabbit hutches all the time. Eventually we do want to put metal roofs on, like how this one here has a metal roof. We do want to do that for Babs's cage and for Buster's cage, but we simply do not have the time right now to mess with anything else other than what we've got going on. So I put another tarp on top here. The turkeys had made a whole bunch of holes in the top over here of her cage just from them getting up there and their claws digging down in and stuff and them pecking around at it. And also because, that tarp has been on since last March, I do believe. So it's definitely definitely seen a lot of sun, wind, and snow and stuff. So I also did the same for the big rabbit tractor here. I put a new tarp on it, so then that way these new breeders of ours that we kept, they're both females. We triple checked. They're both females, so they will be our new some of our new breeding stock. Once like the springtime comes along, that's when they'll be old enough to breed. So I did do that today as well. Yesterday, besides putting in them steps, yesterday was one of them days where I was just not really feeling it. Like I was just completely exhausted and really sore. Like my body was very sore. My body's pretty sore again today, but you know, things need done. So I just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and grinding and hoping for the best. But I found a piece of wood. So we have so many different projects going on. It's kind of like a discombobulated mess of events going on. But yeah, so yesterday I also, it's really windy today. Yesterday I also worked on getting more firewood done up. So we had Willie after he came home from school work on starting to split the day before yesterday. Also, he also started splitting some of the stuff that was clear out in the back behind the goat area. So yesterday I helped procure all of that, bring it all back, and Tracy helped a little bit too. So it was, I think, like 5 or 6 wheelbarrow loads full of split wood. So we added it to this pile right here, this part of the pile here, and there was some stuff that didn't need to be split that I could also add to the wood pile. So with what is cured and split, so like what's right behind me and then what's right here, we measured it out. Tracy found this like cord wood calculator type of thing that tells you how many cords of wood you have, you know, based on just any dimension that you give into it. So with what we have already ready to go, we have, I think it said 2.6 cords of wood. So that's pretty good. So we have more back in here. We have a back corner over in here. That stuff back there, which is kind of a wonky angle to see. It's a pretty decent sized pile. It's a really big skid back there, but the angle is so wonky on camera that it's kind of hard to see all of it. So that'll end up helping once it's split to add to this pile and stuff. And then we also have a nice sized pile of stuff that needs split right here. So that's just a normal like 4-foot wide skid and stuff that needs split, and it's, you know, like waist high. So that'll add to it too. With all of that stuff all taken care of, it'll probably be closer to 2 cords, or not 2, 3 cords that we will have. There's still more back in the back for Willie to work on splitting that's already cut up, but he was getting pretty tired, which, you know, splitting wood is tiring, especially when you're doing it by hand. So don't blame him whatsoever. Plus I was kind of glad that he got tired when he did, because my back was hurting pretty good from bending over and picking everything up. But so I took Lucky, our one goat, on a walk, and he used to be really bad when we lived at Tracy's parents' place about escaping the fence and jumping over it. He hasn't done that the entire time that we've lived here. He's been very content to just stay in and relax and, you know, just hang out with the rest of the goats. But yesterday, I took him on a walk. I went up in the woods and let him like go all over the place back there, so that way he could just, you know, munch on different things and just have some quality time with me, because he was a bottle baby, so he really likes the company of humans and stuff. But so I was taking him on a walk, and then we went and we watched Willie split some firewood for a little while, which was right behind the goat area. And I had wondered while I was doing that if maybe Lucky has gotten too fat to jump over the fence, if that's why he stopped jumping over the fence once we moved here. Well, I don't know if it was from my walk or from us standing outside of the fence for a while, or if it was my simple wondering of maybe he got too fat to jump over the fence because he hasn't tried in a long time. But so while Tracy and I were stacking wood in the woodshed, we were on our, I think, 4th wheelbarrow load of wood. Next thing you know, here comes Lucky. He's in the woodshed, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's just like, I'm here to help. I'm here to help. Like all sorts of excited and stuff. And I'm like, no. Like, you have to go back. So I you know, pulled him towards the barn and stuff, and once we got about there, then he wouldn't come any further. Like, I was pulling him by the collar and stuff, and he would not walk any further. He was like digging his heels in, and stuff. And I'm like, dude, come on. And then he looked at me like, aren't you going to carry me? So I did. He has definitely gained quite a bit of weight since we moved here. He is a bully with food and does push everybody else out of the food. And we've been trying to do different things to work with him to make it so he can't steal everybody else's food and everybody else can get food. And it's just, morning feeding is kind of a nightmare with the goats. But when I picked him up, he is heavier than a feed bag. So a feed bag is 50 pounds. The goats, because they're Nigerian dwarfs, are supposed to weigh anywhere from like 40 to 55 pounds. He's probably like 65 to 70 pounds. Like, I was like, oh my God, you are heavy. So I carried him from about where that chicken tractor is right there, maybe a little bit closer, all the way to the barn where I'm standing at now. And I felt like I was gonna die. But so he definitely is embarking on a diet. Once it gets a bit cooler out, which he's not very happy about that. When I said that, I don't think you guys will be able to pick him up on camera. No, there's no way to see him. But he's back in the goat area. Oh, here he comes. There he is. But so when I said that he was definitely embarking on a diet, he like shot me this like death glare and stuff. But we had a nice long talk with Lucky yesterday and basically told him like, hey, if you want to stay on this farm, you have to actually stay in the pasture. And so he's been really good today. He hasn't tried to escape or anything of the sort, but he's been kind of cantankerous and stuff, but you know, that's Lucky for you. So, but I'm going to get off here because there is actually some repairs that I have to make to the barn because of Lucky. So he had, I love Dragon. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. But anyways, so that back wall over there, right behind Lucky, which you guys can't see the damage to it, he's rammed it so many times, and this barn was built with nails and stuff. So he's rammed it so many times that wall is actually coming apart from like the main stud, the main 4x4 that goes that's like the support for it and stuff. So I actually have to take a sledgehammer to it, beat it back into place, and then add screws, and then tap the nails back in. So it's kind of a bit of a chore that I got to do, but it's kind of the name of the game here, is fixing things that other people have built that are not like up to the standards that they need to be built for our lifestyle and for just living in general. So yeah, a lot of work to do. But anyways, if you guys are enjoying our content, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We'd greatly appreciate it. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.